Hey guys, welcome. Let me see if you guys can see that. Let me see how that popped up. Because I'm using I'm using Stream Lab again instead of Stream Yard. So let me see if you guys can see me. Can you see me, babe? Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways, today we're going to talk about Todd and Julie Chrisley. Obviously, we've been talking about them a good bit lately with their recent conviction. And something that I wasn't really expecting was they did actually come out with a new podcast the other day. And like I said, I wasn't expecting that at all. Simply due to the fact that there was a conviction, I really thought that they would kind of retreat and not talk to the public or not say anything publicly. They released a statement through their attorney just saying that they would appeal. And I really didn't think that they would do I didn't think that they would do, let me see, can you guys see that? I didn't think that they would do a podcast, but they did. So, can you guys see the chat box? Because this is...
Put the chat box to the top of the webcam. You have to go above the webcam. Yeah. On it.
Oh, there we go. There it is. Okay. I'm new with this software, you guys, so bear with me. I want to start using this all the time because it seems like it's just a better picture than if we use the other software. But let's go ahead. Let's get into what Todd and Julie Chrisley had to say on their latest podcast. I moved it up a little bit. Okay, so their podcast usually released like on Wednesday evening or Thursday evening. This past podcast released on Thursday. And obviously due to the fact that they plan to appeal this, they can't say too much. Todd stated that. He said that they were legally limited as to how much they could discuss. But they did talk about how they're handling the verdict, how the children are handling the verdict, and how the family is holding up. He said it's a very sad, heartbreaking time for our family right now, but we still hold steadfast in our faith, and we trust that God will do what he does best because God is a miracle worker, and that's what we're holding out for. Todd also stated that he and Julie are receiving a lot of support from fans. He says that they get messages every day. People sending messages through their DMs, sending messages through the mail, and people also showing up at their house. He said people are driving from all over the country to bring flowers to our front door. He said it's a tough time right now, but we are grateful for each and every one of you. We don't require that you drive hours to place flowers at our door. We don't require that you drive 8 hours to bring us food. A letter is fine. And then Julie, she chimed in to say, just pray for us. A prayer is fine. Todd then talked about how his family is handling it. And I actually did a video in regards to Savannah, because Savannah, she did make a post on her Instagram account. So I'll link that video in the description box below where she addressed their conviction as well. Their sentencing date, I think, is October 6th, if memory serves me correctly. I think it's October 6th. But in regards to his family, Nanny Faye, Savannah, Chase, Kyle, Grayson, and Lindsay, how they're handling the verdict. Lindsay and Savannah have spoken out. They've released their own statements. He said the kids are all doing the best as they can. A lot of tears, a lot of heartache, and a lot of sorrow, a lot of trying to understand how this is where we are right now, but we are here, and we've got to walk the walk and do whatever it is that we have to do. He asked Julie, like, if she really had anything to say, and she really didn't say too much other than she appreciates the prayers. Todd did state that, they're human beings just like everyone else. They have heartache, they have happiness. Everyone suffers loss and everything like that, and that they were just trying to wrap their heads around what's happening right now. They did say that they plan to continue to do Chrisley Knows Best and Chrisley Confessions. And as far as Chrisley Knows Best, he said we plan to do it as long as we can, and then we're going to hand it over to Chase and Savannah, which they already have their show, Chase and Savannah. I think it's called Growing Up Chrisley. But essentially, the way he worded it was like, we're going to continue on with our show, and then when we can't, they'll carry on, and you guys will know how we're doing from watching their show. That's the way it sounded to me on the podcast, like he was saying. He said that they're going to continue for as long as we get to do it, and then let Chase and Savannah take over once they head to the big house. He said at that point, they will be the ones who can fill you in on everything that's going on in our lives. That's what he said that kind of made me believe that he's saying, essentially, when they go to jail, it'll be Chase and Savannah that keeps us in the loop of how they're doing. At that point, they will be the ones who can kind of fill you in on everything that's going on in our lives. Unless he's saying that the show won't be renewed due to their conviction, and that's possible. Because I did read somewhere that there was a contract when they signed this new season saying if there was a conviction that they wouldn't renew. That was either for the show or for the podcast. But either way, both are still going. Like, their podcast is still going, and the show is still set to release soon. Todd also stated that after he gets all his legal issues cleared up, that he will consider running for public office. And he also said that when the time is right and when they can share everything with us, that they will, and then we'll be able to make our own opinion on if we basically feel like they're guilty or not. That's kind of what he said. When we can, we'll tell you guys everything, and you can make up your own mind. He said, as far as running for public office, he said, it is absolutely something that I do have a passion for, and I long to do that. I do believe that there is a good left in me and that I'm capable of helping other people. My life story has and will continue to help other people because I plan on always being transparent. For the people that says he's not transparent, it's so crazy because it's either, in this case, it's either black, it's like black and white. There's no gray area here with Todd. Either he did those things or he didn't. So to hear him talk like this, like, he is like 100%, I'm innocent, we didn't do it, we done nothing wrong, I'm being transparent. And that is the way that he acts. But then considering that they were found guilty, and most federal cases, like, they don't even pursue a case unless they are like over 90% sure that they can convict you. You know what I'm saying? Their conviction rate is literally like 95% or something crazy like that. So, and from what I've read, like Nanny Faye being on the stand and them questioning her about, signing documents to buy Bentleys and stuff like that. And she's like, I don't know nothing about it. And how it appeared like they moved funds into her account to avoid paying taxes. I mean, from everything that I'm reading, and like I said, I like the Chrisleys. Me and Sean used to watch them all the time. So the biggest, I obviously wanted them to be innocent. I wanted them to be innocent. But the more I read, it seems like they're guilty, which sucks. But he just talks like that's not the case. They are innocent, and he wants to run for public office. And when all this gets cleared up, he's going to tell us the true story, the real story, and we can make up our own mind. Now, I do have to say, coming from, I do know what it feels like if he's innocent. I'm not saying that he is. But you can't really judge the situation, I feel like, until you know, like, everything. Because for those of you that don't know, I was falsely arrested, a couple of years ago. And from the outside, it 100% looked like I was guilty. Like, there was no reason anyone, other than what people knew about me on YouTube, other than, the fact that people on YouTube knew me as, like, she's a sweet girl, she don't appear to have any issues, and then I get arrested, and, like, the charges just didn't make sense. But there was also, people took up for me to say, like, I just don't believe it, and it's like, but how can you not, how can you not believe it? So I can kind of see, like in my case, it just looked like I was guilty. It just looked like I was guilty. And in their case, it looks like they're guilty. But in my case, I wasn't guilty. So I don't know. I'm holding out, but I don't know. Thank you, Candy. It looks like they, yes, it looks like they did. So, which sucks because now, they're going to go to jail. I mean, they plan to appeal, but they're going to be sentenced come October. And it looks like they're going to go to jail and they're looking at real time. Now, I watched Uncivil Law and he said that more than likely, they're going to get about 10 years or so. But then someone commented on my channel saying that Emily Baker had first said that they wouldn't do very long. But then she looked more into the charges and they may. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure, you guys. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But considering that they've never gotten any trouble before, and 30 years is like the max sentence, I don't want to. Surely they're not getting 30 years. Also, Nanny Faye, we found out she has bladder cancer. So if Todd goes to jail and he's in jail for 10 years, what's going to become of Nanny Faye? Who's going to take care of Chloe and Grayson? Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Justice Sub. I saw many comments though, obviously when that situation happened, I stayed away from social media because I just couldn't look at everything that people were saying back then. But later on, when I filed a lawsuit, I had to gather up the evidence that it hurt my channel because this is my job. And when you're going to file a lawsuit against someone, you got to prove damages, right? So when I had to go around and look up everything that was said about me, it was hurtful because I saw some people that was like in my chat every time I went live, and they were obviously, they were like, wow, I can't believe this. I'm shocked to see this. But they believed it, because how could you not? Okay, Emily Baker said it was way more than a 30-year max. Well, everything that I'm reading says the maximum for their charges is 30 years. But then I watched a few lawyers, uncivil law specifically, saying because they have no history, they've never been in trouble, they won't get the max, which is 30 years. Because I watched a few lawyers on this. Just said not. I know Todd said some things about her that wasn't the kindest, but do a little bit of research because Todd didn't know who KJ was until KJ kind of went at him. And I know, obviously, some of the things that she said obviously appear to be true. So I get it. Todd still, maintains his innocence, but clearly it doesn't seem like he's innocent. But she said very personal things about him as well, about his kids. So I know that Todd did say things about her, and he filed a lawsuit against her. But celebrities don't know who she is. The way they come to find out who she is because she kind of like goes at them relentlessly. Todd and Tati and all these celebrities have had People Magazine, Enquirer Magazine, TMZ, all these big media outlets, do videos on them. Not videos, do articles on them, saying like the most, you know what I'm saying? And they're not concerned with any of them. So for these celebrities that that become concerned with Katie, you have to ask yourself why. Like, these are celebrities that have been celebrities for years, years. So they are kind of accustomed to media outlets, saying stories that are not true, accusing them of things. So when they focus on a small YouTuber or a YouTuber, it's because that YouTuber has done something worse than what those media outlets have done. And I've known Katie from 2019, about 6 to 8 months after she started her channel, and I can just say I've seen her say some really nasty things about most of the people that she covers. She's toned it down a lot on YouTube, but if you follow her Instagram, that's where she'll get really nasty. But yeah, she's doxed several people. She's doxed me. Katie's doxed me multiple times. I mean, my phone number on a live stream where she had over 300 people watching. So yeah, I don't know. Yes. I don't think Lindsay's apologizing. I don't think Lindsay's apologizing because Lindsay has also asked Katie repeatedly to not talk about her family. Like, because Katie claims that her and Lindsay were friends, right? Katie has literally said on streams, "Oh, I just love Lindsay. She's my friend. Poor Lindsay, poor Lindsay, poor Lindsay." And then Lindsay privately said, "Hey, can you please just like not talk about certain things, in regards to my family?" And I get it, Katie says she's a journalist, so she says she continues. But if you're claiming to be friends with someone, you could report it in a way that maybe isn't hurtful to your friend, or you could try to be a little respectful in it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Lindsay's gonna be the one. I don't think Lindsay's gonna apologize. I really don't think so. I am gonna live stream that as well. So that should be Thursday. I think normally they put up their Coffee Combos podcast on Thursday. So whenever that drops, I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna go live. I think Lindsay is bringing her attorney on to address KJ's. That's what I think is going to happen too. I think Lindsay's going to go live and she's going to have her attorney on there and they're going to address Katie's behavior. Did you hear the thing he said about? I did hear some of the things that he said about her, and I do have to say some of those things was nasty. But I've heard Katie say way worse things to other people. Katie has said 10 times worse things to me. Katie has said a million times worse things about plenty of the people that she covers. While I can't support Todd and some of the things that he said, I listened to it. Whenever he first started talking about Katie, I was like, what? Oh my gosh, Todd Chrisley's talking about Katie. Which I knew that Katie had been talking about him a lot, and she had really been going in on him, like on him, on the kids, on Lindsay, on Kyle. So when he, started addressing her, I was like, oh my goodness, let's listen to what he's got to say. And I listened to some of those podcasts, like, oh my goodness, like, I wouldn't have said that. Like, but Todd is the type. If you come for him, he's coming right back for you, And, yeah, she calls them crotch goblins. She calls kids, what was it? I don't even remember. It was like, yes, most people with kids wouldn't want doesn't want to hear somebody call kids like crotch goblins. Politicians are always honest. They always tell the truth, and they have never had their hand in a cookie jar. So he will basically. Oh, I gotta read this because I really like this comment. Where is it? Politicians are always honest. They always tell the truth, and they have never had their hand in a cookie. So basically, saying he'll still plan. But in a legal way. Oh my gosh, I love that, Jen. I love that, Jen, because one thing that I've learned is that disease-ridden crotch goblins is what she called them. Yes, she called kids disease-ridden crotch goblins, especially kids, like parents, if you don't believe in vaccinations or if you don't vaccinate, your kids are disease-ridden crotch goblins. But if you ask her if she says it, she'll swear that she didn't, but there's videos of her out there saying it, and I've heard it myself. Crotch fruit, crotch goblins, yes. Yes, I agree. Yes, Chrisley took some low blows about KJ's parenting and looks, but KJ does that to others so frequently. I see both sides. Same, absolutely. Yes. Yes. I have children, and if somebody come to me and called my kid a crotch goblin, I would be offended. I would be like, excuse me? No, my kid is not a crotch goblin. My kid is a beautiful blessing, and that's disgusting to refer to my child as that just because, where they may have come from, how I birthed them, it doesn't give anybody the right to call them a crotch goblin. And I don't think Katie would like it if somebody called her son that, which I wouldn't like it if somebody called her son that, but, no, I don't think she calls her own child that. These celebrities just help these bloggers get a bigger platform. Yeah, yeah. But I'm glad you said that, Jen. Why? Because one thing that I've realized, especially lately, is that you think that because someone may be a judge or they may be a lawyer or they may be a cop, that they have some sort of moral standard, or that they're a good person, or that they wouldn't screw you over. And I've come to realize that just because they pass the bar, or just because, they have the authority to write you a ticket, or they have the authority to throw you in jail, it doesn't mean that they're a good person and they're not crooked. I have learned that so much lately, unfortunately. Yeah, I pay my taxes too. Like, I have to send my taxes in. Doing on YouTube, they don't hold taxes out, so you literally have to send them in. Um, and I don't, I'm not a big fan of people that don't pay their taxes. You should pay your taxes. I gotta pay my taxes. We gotta pay our taxes. So but yeah, I'm actually shocked that he said that he would like to run for office, for public office. I'm shocked for that, but he still maintains his innocence. He still says they're going to file an appeal, but their sentencing will come up. I think it's October 6th, and that day I will be waiting to go live as well. I wish I could go to their sentencing, but there's no way I can do that. I think Georgia is like 14 hours from here, so Candy, I could if I would. We could go together, Candy. But anyways, yes. Maybe Todd will make a good politician since he is a crook. I believe, though, that you cannot run for office with a felony on your record. That, I think that's true, number one fan. I don't think you can run for office if you're convicted felon, for sure, right? And at this point, he is a convicted felon. Yes, as my Nana always says, there's two things certain in this life: death and taxes. 1,000%. But yeah, you guys, that was on their first podcast since the conviction, and that was released. I think it was Thursday as well. I think it released Thursday, so they'll have another one coming up on the same day as Lindsay's drops, and I'll be listening to that one also. Just to Emily D. Baker actually said this, and I gotta watch some of her videos on there because I was watching Uncivil. Emily D. Baker actually said the sentences for the charges add up to more than 30 years. That is so sad. We love to punish excessively. I do feel like I have heard stories of people getting arrested for marijuana, and it's like 10, 20 years for marijuana, but then someone for attempted murder is out in less. It's really wild. Let me see where their sentencing will be. Yes, it will be October 6th. They are facing up to 30 years in prison. Though Rindleman does not believe they'll receive a sentence near the maximum, the judge was incredible latitude in terms of what the appropriate sentence is for both Todd and Julie. Okay, where will this happen? Where? Really? Not one that was like, yeah, I did it. Okay, come on, I did it. That's interesting because I figure there would be some people that would just have the gonads to be like, I did it, and I committed the crime. I'm doing my time. That's so wild. All right, where? Let's see where their trial was held. Really? I can tell you how to do it because I went to the Duggar one. So what you do is you get up that morning and you're at the courthouse at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and you may be the only one there, but there's going to be media outlets that the Sun will more than likely send someone, the Daily Mail will more than likely send someone, the Ashley Realities Roundup may send someone. Now, when I went to the Duggar sentencing, I went with a friend who is also a YouTuber and has a podcast. And she went to the full trial for Josh Duggar. And she said she had to get there early for the trial because it was packed for people trying to sit in for the trial. But the sentencing was not that bad. Like, we got there at like 6:30 in the morning, and I was number 7 in line. And it wasn't even like full. Like if more people would have came, they would have been able to, come in and see. So it was held at the Atlanta courthouse. So more than likely, their sentencing will also be at the Atlanta courthouse. Is there more than one? I don't know. Somebody from Georgia, let me know if there's more than one Atlanta courthouse. Yeah, exactly, Aaron, and that's so crazy. So, anyone that lives close to Atlanta, be at that courthouse at like 6:30 in the morning, and if it's open to the public, so you would probably want to call to see if it's open to the public because I'm not sure. I would imagine that it is though. Probably. I'll call and find out. But I wish I could go. That'd be awesome to be able to sit there because it was kind of surreal to sit there and see Josh Duggar and Jim Bob Duggar and Anna Duggar, and it would be even crazier to see Todd because I like them. I'm not gonna lie, like I like them. I don't like the Duggars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I used to back when I thought they were like a good family, but that feeling's been gone for some time now. But I like the Duggars. Um, thank you, number one fan. It's in October, so I don't know if I'll be able to because that would be a trip for sure. Um, but yeah, yes, absolutely. Glaze the confused. In my opinion, severe prison sentences should be given to pedophiles, R's, and M's, not white collar crimes. I agree. Like I can understand people don't pay their taxes, give them some jail time. But 30 years when someone can literally kill someone and be out in 10. You know what I'm saying? I think we're getting a group together. Do it. Get a group together. If I could go, I so would go. Um, Trying to think. Anybody that wants to consider going, put your email in the chat maybe, and everybody could kind of email. Could you cover the 7M trial? Yeah, I'll start covering that. I feel like it'll give me some blowback from Katie. But I've had several people ask me, and kind of one of the reasons why I've kind of steered clear from it is because the blowback from Katie. Um, but yeah, I'll start keeping up with it. Yeah, the systems around the world seem pretty messed up. I do agree. Yeah. But anyways, you guys, I told y'all the other day that I was going to get on here and talk about what they said, the podcast and everything. So, wanted to make sure I do that. They're just saying the kids. They said the kids are taking it hard. Taking it hard. The kids have a lot of crying, a lot of sorrow, and kind of wondering why this happened. And I know Lindsay and Savannah both released statements. I got a video of Savannah's statement that she released on her social media account. I got a video about that. Like I said, I will link it in the description box below. But as far as like Todd and Julie, it was mainly Todd talking. Todd did ask Julie like, "Hey, do you have anything to say?" And she was like, "Well, I just appreciate everybody for the prayers. Like, we appreciate that." She really didn't go into we're innocent, we're gonna prove it or nothing like that. Just appreciate everyone for the prayers and stuff like that, just to keep them coming. But yeah, Todd said that people have literally driven to their house like 8 hours away, and he's like, "Don't do that. Don't take off work. Don't leave your families to drive all this way, to give us flowers or to let us know that you're praying for us. Like, you don't have to do that." Um, Good night, Candy. So I can actually watch one of those. Okay, I'll start keeping up with it. I'll pull it up on Pacer. That way, if anything comes through, I'll know. It wasn't just not paying. I know it wasn't just not paying taxes. I mean, they were paying taxes. They were committing fraud. They were forging documents to make it look like they had bank accounts they didn't have, and like they had money in these bank accounts that they didn't have. I mean, it was a lot. There was a lot to it. If you want to arrange to go to Atlanta for their sentencing, put your email and I'll get them together and create a mailing list. Yes, anybody that is considering going to it or would like to even just kind of discuss it with others, put your email. You can put it in the chat or put it in the comment section below if you're watching this on replay, and we'll get like a mailing list together and kind of figure out who can go. $30 million mistake. Oh, I know. The Flossie Network does that say the Flossie Network? That's not my Flossie. That's pretty funny. The Flossie Network. I love that. Well, Katie says yeah. There was a video that somebody posted on Twitter, and I've seen it plenty of times, because it was something posted about, her being a journalist, and someone commented and said she is a journalist, and then it showed the video of Todd saying, "You don't tell people you're a journalist, do you?" And she's like, "Well, yeah. Well, what else would you call it?" And he's like, "I don't know, but you're not a journalist." And I was like, I remember that. But anyways, you guys. Oh my gosh, I know. Nanny Faye, knowing that she has bladder cancer, and she's been dealing with that since last fall, and she's kept it quiet. But they said it come out at the trial, so now, the Flossie Network. Are you my Flossie? I don't know. I'll have to text my Flossie and see if my Flossie made a YouTube channel called the Flossie Network. That's gonna be stressful for her, going through. She's getting treatment right now, and say, she's got treatment for the next 6 months. We don't know how long her treatment's gonna last, but say she's getting treatment for the next 6 months, and Todd and Julie end up going to jail in October for years. That's gonna be a struggle for her to continue with treatment, with Todd and Julie not there. I don't know how, what other family she has outside, the grandkids. I'll check the replay comments for this and you. Sounds good. Okay, you guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you so much to everyone that hung out with me tonight. If you're watching this on replay, or if you're watching this on live, be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you like to keep up with reality TV news and gossip, do yourself a favor and me a favor and hit the subscribe button. And that is so cute. My grandson calls me Flossie. My sister's name is Flossie, so at first I thought you were like my sister coming in here with a new name. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. I think this is probably going to be all for tonight. I'll turn it in, but I'll be